If you put an emotionally disturbed person into an office that requires secrets, my Jesus, you are in trouble. That's why there are my mufundis today. That when someone comes and confides something into them and say, Mama, please, this thing is confidential. Please don't tell anyone. Mama, I stole 30,000 at work. Please, I want God to forgive me. When you say don't, before you finish, they can't handle the heat that will be growing inside. There is a burning evil desire, an emotional disturbance. I say, I wish she can live just right now so that I go to some people in the church and tell them this latest. And they go and they say, do you know that when my husband, pastor, was counseling sister so and so, don't look at the way she dresses in the church. Do you know she stole 30,000? Say, 30,000, but don't tell anybody. And it continues going in the church. And the church starts to lose people. Because the mindfulness is not stable emotionally. She cannot handle hot material. Emotionally disturbed people cannot handle hot stuff. They want to spill it there and there. It's too big for their small heart. Because they are small-hearted people. So they cannot contain big stories. Never confess big things to emotionally disturbed people. It will be out. It will be everywhere. Freely they will begin to talk about it. Especially when you say, don't. That is the thing that they will speak. And everyone will know about it. So there are some issues. My wife was saying, Prophet, your heart and your emotions are now at another level. Because these issues, if we were to take even one pastor and make that boy or one man to confess, while a pastor is, you will see them fugitive. When the person is going, there are some stuff that a person can tell you that, Prophet, I took an axe, chopped a person's head, removed even parts, took the heart of that person, and I even drank the blood, and them and you have a small heart, I tell you it will be jerking like it wants to come out. What? Because the information will be too big for an emotionally disturbed person. And God also will never allow people to come and confess at that level when he knows you are emotionally disturbed. When you tell me something, a secret, and you say, don't tell it to anybody. To me, it's over. You will not hear it. Because I am stable. I don't have imbalance. You are free. I pray for you accordingly. But if you say, even if you die, even on your funeral, I will never tell anybody. Because you said, I must not. And I take you at your word. You have been pastored here. Is there any day where you heard Mama Chiza spilling out what was said in our office? Otherwise, there would be confusion in kingdom women here. Women fighting of information coming through my office, being spilled into the church. You see it in other churches. The mindfulness has a small heart. Any message which I preach and it is a don't, if you are emotionally unstable, it will attract discussion. That's why did the prophet say don't? What's wrong about it? And you are arguing, opening even other verses. And you feel like, no, I have to. Why is he saying don't do that? Why is he saying don't do that? And it's an issue. Because they grew up in oppressive, strict, argumentative environments. And in the church, they are like that. Can you take a don't as simple? That's why there is a difference between a child who grew up in a group A school and a child who grew up in a high-density school. Children in group A schools, they are taught to accept don'ts. When you meet a parent, you say, how are you, mommy? Morning, mommy. When you are on the table, you don't put your shoulders on the table. Don't. And so they are trained when they are young to be emotionally stable, but not ghetto church, ghetto schools. There is no law there. It's punishment after punishment. They are not taught why they must do that. You are just punished for what you don't know. Just punishment. Go and pick 5 bricks and run with them. The teachers are also ghetto-minded as well. They don't explain things to children. And those children are emotionally unstable. When they are eating, they have no laws. They talk whilst they are eating. Everything is fine. And they are eating. They don't mind even to eat in the streets and talking. Are you all right? And making noise. But group A children are emotionally stable. They don't do. If you say don't go in that direction, a child who grew up they will not do that. If you teach them to drive a car, that it's 60 here, they will be in 60. If it's 80, they will be in 80. And they are not in trouble with the police like ghetto children. Ghetto children, they want even to take even handcuffs from the policeman and handcuff him with his own handcuffs. And beat him as well. And they can take away even his head and wait and say, salute me now. Emotionally disturbed. Fighting everything. That is called law. And they don't know why they do those things. They are not understanding, but don't think they want to do what they are doing. They don't even like it. But there is a law that was disturbed inside of them when they were growing up. When your mother says don't, what do you do? God had to heal me when I was growing up, because even my wife, we are different. Because me, I grew up in Chiza, in Harare, in a ghetto, where we were seeing people being killed in front of us. So to me, a policeman, because my brother would beat a policeman in front of me and handcuff him. My own brother. And when they wanted to arrest him, they would come with guns. You don't arrest anyone in Chiza without guns. And fire in the air and say, come out before we break the door. And him, you would call through the window and say, go and call fire brigade. I will not come out. Try it to come in here. And the police in Mavuku, they used to call him fire brigade. Because if you want to go and get him, you were supposed to be very armed. One day I came and I saw a policeman crying. And he was handcuffed by the wall, by a gate at our neighbor's house. And he was saying, it's your brother, look at this. Who did this? We are going to get him. And I had to apologize, and we went to look for other policemen, and I had to beg, because it's a serious crime to do that. And whenever he was being arrested, taking him to jail, when they are going with him, he would say, you are taking me to my house. That is where my bed is. He doesn't, all these prisons, he knows them. But he was not the only one. There were many like that. But my wife grew up in group A school. So she had to tell me until God showed me that, pray for healing in that area. Because even when I'm in a combi, I would speak to an extent, even people walking, they would hear what I was talking when the combi is moving. Yeah, the power is moving. God is doing things. And everyone needed to listen. And I was my wife, when she's speaking, you don't hear what she's saying on the phone. I say, but are you talking? Because to me, you must shout for people to hear you. Because in our area, you are supposed to say something 15 times for someone to do it. Because my mother would call me, and I would hear she's calling me. She would start, bully! You are bully! Why are you bully? What are you saying? And after she's now almost losing her voice, that's when I would come. So there are many bully here. You have to scream for them to change. If you say it softly, they will not hear you. Because my wife had to help me to get emotional healing because of our environment. If you say, she would say, my husband, ZBC people are coming. You are a man of God. Let's buy license. I would say nothing. ZBC, they are showing nothing. I will not buy. I will not waste my time. And my wife does not fight. She keeps quiet. And after 3 days, ZBC will come. Give us a fine. And more money is now being paid now. And my wife would not even look at me with an eye that, didn't I tell you? On my own, I would come and say, my wife, I'm very sorry. You were very correct. Don't fight with those people to prove, because they will even continue. So she would not even fight with me until my heart was now stable. Even when I started driving a car, I was in trouble. At 60, I will be 120. Because ghetto chishanje would be man. If I see 60, to me it's 120. And I start to argue with the police. No, you cannot arrest me. Because I am tired. I am also delivering people. And you also need deliverance. And I start even to prophesy to them. My wife said, no, my husband. You are now becoming a person to reckon within the society. When you have done wrong, apologize. When they say, Mr. Policeman, I'm very sorry, I admit my guilt. And when it's 60, be at 60. When it's 80, be at 80. Because whenever we would be going to Botswana, if my wife says, we are now at 60, I don't know how, brethren, to tell you the truth, I would go to 100. I would just find myself, police is stopping me, and I'm in 100 at 60. So that's why I can teach this subject and help people I know when I'm leading. I know you. Serious emotional problems. Because there's something that wants to break law in you. You are not emotionally stable. You need deliverance. You will never see Group A children jumping the cross-boarding illegal. They will get their passport. But go to Makokoba and Msilikas. They are the ones who use Malaysia to sneak people out. of the nation. And they don't mind whether they are crocodiles. They say, we will crocodile each other. We will eat each other inside. They die crossing rivers. Emotional problems. They just love to break the law. So if you say don't once, don't go, don't two. Because you'll be in trouble. You will strengthen that power. And that's what Paul is saying, that I don't understand how I do what I don't want to do, but I just find myself, there is a law working in me which makes me to do what I don't want to do. Why is it you love noisy things every time? It's an emotional problem. Because the noise gives comfort and significance. Because where there is noise, people's eyes are there.